Creativity is an intuitive game, and the more that you're able to sharpen your intuition, the better a creative you will be. And so, why do we want to sharpen our intuition? When intuition is incorporated as a useful channel of information, you'll end up making better decisions. You'll be able to make more well rounded decisions and choose a path that is unique to you because you're being guided by your own wisdom and you're taking the steps towards that. When you're creating, you're leveraging that intuitive insight and that critical thinking. You're engaged in both hemispheres of the brain and you're incorporating intuitive judgments and instincts into logical decisioning. And that allows a natural flow of the body to move effortlessly because you're balancing out what you feel, the information that you're gathering, plus data, plus analytical thinking. And we're allowing intuition to come through and give it a place to say that it does have importance and that it needs to be guarded as such so that the steps that we're taking, we're able to test that hypothesis, that intuitive nature, or it leads us to some other place. But we value that. How do we take those intuitive insights, trust them? How do we trust them? How do we use them as information and then have them be navigational carrot to guide us in a direction and trust that whatever unfolds is just the part of the process, part of the journey, and part of the adventure? When you're connected, when you're allowing that intuition to come in and that you give it regard and you hold it and you do something with it, you investigate on those nudges that are happening and you see how it plays out in the real world. And you're happy because you're fulfilling and you're becoming satisfied. You're fulfilling your desires and your needs and you're becoming satisfied with that. You light up. That is the definition of happiness. That is love. You're in these higher vibrations because you're engaging with all of you in the world with all of you. And so here's a heat map that shows all the ranges of emotions, but specifically look at the happiness and the love. And this to me is what we have happening when we're creating. And no matter what mood you show up in to create, the end result is the same. You get lit up. You have this literal heat that is coming off of you because you are in such a higher vibration. And so creativity becomes an intuitive game because it's the way that we can allow playfully, easily, safely to let the intuition come through and have it have a little playpen to bring awareness to the subconscious mind. Just like in dreams, you have symbols, your subconscious mind is showing you things out in the world that taps on your attention and it rises up into conscious thought. And so you're literally bridging the gap between your higher self, yourself, and your shadow side, and you're helping to understand what's in the subconscious, what needs to be looked at, dealt with, understood, and you're able to turn it into a conscious thought and articulate it. A lot of psychology and psycho talk to say that creativity is an opportunity and a vehicle to allow you to just explore your intuition and sharpen it. Give it a space and you give it priority. You say that this has importance. And so more comes in. You do something. All great thinkers, all great inventors had a striking intuitive thought. And it's what they did with that intuitive thought. They took that thought, struck them, and they went out in the world to test that intuitive hypothesis with logical reason. They went out to see, can I take this vision and how do I hold that and do something with it? And that whole process of step one to what to do next to actually seeing something get put out into the world all has to use both the intuitive intellect and logical deductive reasoning because you're bringing it into material form. You're taking something of the immaterial and putting it into material. It doesn't always translate a one-to-one. There's going to have to improvise. You're going to have to be flexible and you're going to have to use other faculties like your intuition to figure out what to do with it. And so understanding the importance of intuitive intelligence in making decisions is key because we tend to live in a world where the logical mind seems to take priority and logical reasoning should not lead the way. And that sounds counterintuitive to what we learn, but every scientist, every inventor, every great thinker had some inspired thought, some out of the blue idea and acted upon it, spent years of researching it, figuring it out, understanding it. And sometimes they don't always know what's going to happen in the end result or what's going to become of it, but the drive is there. And I know most of us have that drive within and want to take that. And the way we want to take that, part of being creative and part of being intuitive, is that we're really tapping into this other side of us. And that is really beneficial in every area of our life. And so the more we see creating as a way of life, and we use that as a lens of perception, and this lens of perception is understanding that you are a designer designer who creates your world, and your intuition needs to be sharpened to help make that world the best it could possibly be, because you're listening to what's going on inside of you, not dismissing any of it. And so whether we indulge in these fun side crafty projects or we're building a business empire, they all fall under the category of creative. I would say do all of the above. Every project that you start, every project that you work on has the opportunity to offer you creative challenges to work through. And while nobody wants challenges, we want to practice how we move through challenges. So if we're working on a craft project and if something doesn't happen the right way, it's not a big deal, but you still go through the frustration, upset, disappointment, and you're moving through those emotions so that you can understand how you operate, how you need to listen to yourself, how you need to know what you need to then get to the solution. So we understand the cycle within ourselves. We become the study of ourselves, and we get to know ourselves through the creative process. And we start to look at projects, especially fun and creative projects, side projects, as a way that we're just intuitively moving. We're playing with materials, but we're allowing ourselves to intuitively move and seeing what comes up for us and seeing what we can sharpen and how we can get a keen sense and trying things and exploring and having fun. And so this is how we start to decode the feelings and the symbols and the understandings. And sometimes we just don't understand why we feel this way or why these thoughts keep coming in. And this is the playground to do all of that heavy, hard work of reflection in a really fun way, because things are just going to naturally come up for you when they need to. And it's not trying to force or push anything, but it's just allowing this natural flow of energy and this way that you can be the creator of your life and have a different perspective of seeing. And so when we get to learn how we can decode our feelings and our thoughts that do surface up, we're allowing this channel from the subconscious to the conscious mind. What are you deciding to pay attention to? What's more important? What you're feeling, what your needs are, and what you need out of life, or everything else around you that seems to be screaming for attention and you don't give yourself anything? So one of the quickest ways, because we love fast and easy and we love our cheat codes in society and we want to get there as quickly as possible, the cheat code to help open up that channel is to pick projects that are fun, that are creative, and that maybe feel a little out of your comfort zone. And so you're setting yourself up to have fun challenges so that you can see how you move through things, so that you can allow your intuition to guide you, to pull insights, to say, I don't know what any of this is. I'm uncertain. This is all new, but fun and playful, but this is a new experience. So I have to use different faculties. I have to use different senses. I have to put myself in different situations to see what I'm capable of. What's my fullest potential? And so think about whether it's an actual experience or a class, or it's just you, starting a new project or picking up an old one. How can you bring new life into this? What excites you right now? What is it something you can do? Maybe you take some doodles and you just let the brain do whatever. You let the mind open up. And then maybe you take one of those and you make it into a larger piece. Maybe you do something completely different if you are a full-time creator and you do something completely out of the normal for you. Different materials, a whole different way to create. So if you're on the computer all the time, maybe you're working with your hands. If you're working with your hands, maybe you try something on the computer. Pick up a project that's been sitting there for a while, that's been on your mind. Maybe this is the time to just get it going. You feel good, you'll feel accomplished. Or engage in a project that you think your 5-year-old self would love to go and do with you. So you want to be playful. You want to allow yourself to allow what comes to mind and not overthink it. You want to give yourself time to explore and see how your intuition unlocks as you're doing these things. See what comes up for you. You'll start to see evidence in your life as you follow these intuitive guidances. You're going to immediately feel confident, and your confidence is going to boost, and you're going to be able to see that you can do anything you set your mind to, your intuitive mind to, because you have a vision, you have a sense of understanding. You're allowing information to come in, and you're allowing yourself permission to follow it. So if you're super stuck and you're like, I want to be more intuitive, but I'm not feeling creative right now, go out and pick a new place that you can go visit, some new actual establishment, or maybe even a new area, a new location, just something different, something that lets you experience something new. And a lot of times you'll get a new perspective from a new experience. And if you're super, super, super stuck, I'm going to suggest that you go and you clean your place up. Believe it or not, cleaning up, changing the energy me, having it smell really, really clean, let me tell you, new ideas love being in a clean home, and new ideas will pop into your mind at some point with a clean house. That's something just to get the juices flowing. You'll be amazed of like how many other things you'll start thinking about when you think about cleaning. Creative ideas pop in my head. So it is the fastest way to help you get super unstuck. But cleaning is really great and therapeutic. So the guiding principle here is that we want to move with inspired emotion. We want to capitalize on the momentum of the energy that's been given to us by these inspired ideas, by this intuitive spark, and we want to move with that. That's the like essence of life. When we get these great sparks of insight, it's like an ignition into your electrical system or your energy system, and it's like getting free money in energetic form. And so what we do with that energy is up to us. So we can either invest it in time that enriches us, that fulfills us, or we end up deflating it and holding back. So we hold back on those ideas. We then kind of throw away the energy, and we kind of throw away that free energetic money that we're getting. And so we stop the flow of energy in us, and we start to feel a little bit low. We start to feel a little bit stale. We hem and haw, and then other emotions come up, other energies come up for us. But if we want to capitalize on and moving with inspired action, and so allowing yourself to play in these creative pursuits makes it easier for this free energy to come in, because you're allowing those intuitive thoughts to be filtered into existence. So you get an intuitive thought, you get creatively inspired, those creative inspired thoughts turn into inspired actions. And then those inspired actions over time create new material. And so we want to sharpen that intuitive skill. And it starts with allowing them to lead the way and to drive forth in the actions that you take, and start with fun, creative projects. Your intuitive intelligence needs to be sharpened so that you can be a better creator. And in order to be a better creator, you also have to nurture that young artist within. So you have to allow that younger version of you that thought the entire world was filled with opportunities and options, and you could do anything and be anyone. And that is going to be the fountain of youth. That's going to be the fountain of your intuition. And that's where you can start to open up and just be guided by what you hear. There's no right or wrong. We really just have to follow through. We have to just be the investigator and see where it takes us, and just allow whatever to unfold. Let the joy begin, let the inspiration begin, and let that channel open up for you to get more information. We want more sparks. We want more conversation with our intuitive nature. So it becomes second nature. And we're no hemming and hawing, because we're really clear on who we are and what it is that we want. Just even if it's in that moment to understand, we don't have to have an eternal debate or a conflict. We just move and don't overthink and allow it to be. We could operate with our balance between our intuitive intelligence and our logical thinking. It's going to sharpen in no time, and you're going to start to see the world open up, and you're going to see more opportunities, more options. You're going to understand more intuitively. You're going to connect the dots more, because you're in the same flow as creation is, as nature is. I hope this was of benefit. Thank you all for being here. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.